Hi everyone, I'm Sian from Oh My Planner and this is my very first YouTube video. If you're into budgeting, passion planner, especially the digital weekly or the physical daily, hit the subscribe button because there's more to come on those subjects. But also if you like this video, if you like budgeting, if you're interested in knowing more about budgeting, hit the like video so I know to do more of these in the future. So I decided to do a Budget by Paycheck Workbook, the Budget Mom flip through. I've used her digital version for the last year and I decided this year, 2022, to go with the physical version. I did actually get it printed in the UK last year, but I decided to stick with the digital for the time. And then eventually I decided to save and buy this magnificent thing. So if you are interested, if you're in the UK and you don't want to buy and get this shipped over, but you get the digital version and you want it printed, let me know because I can help you get it printed. It won't be coil, it would be wiro, but still, it's still paper, you can still use it, it's still good. So the cover, let's start with the cover. I got the paint stroke, but you can also get a flower design as well. And the cover is like, so a lot of planners come with a cardboard cover and then a plastic sheet over the top, whereas this has combined the two. So it's definitely very sturdy and you're not going to be like bending and breaking that anytime soon. So let's get into it. We have this workbook belongs to and a little message from Kamiko first, and then we have the instruction pages. I haven't read this yet, but I've watched a couple of videos where people explain them or refer to them in their setup, and it sounds very informative. But I have been watching a lot of videos. Sometimes I just like to grab a cup of tea, some biscuits, put YouTube on the television and sit and watch everyone's videos about how they set this up. It can be very addictive. So yeah, I'll be using a combination of YouTube videos and these instructions to set it up in another video. So we have those, and then we start with the worksheets. So I'll just move this here. Financial plan, you have your 1 year, 5 year and 10 to 15 year goals, which have the description, the estimated cost and the target date. And then you have your subscription worksheet. And I'm going to find this really helpful because things like we pay Amazon Prime annually and I have no idea what month or what day it's going to come out. I know it's coming up. I think it's in December. I should probably look at my bank statements and figure that out. But what I'm going to be doing next year is saving monthly. So the whole thing doesn't come out of my paycheck in one go, and I'm ready and I just move it over and it's there. So I'm going to start doing that with my subscriptions, but also it's just good to sort of take stock because it also prepares you for when you budget monthly as well. So then we've got the yearly savings where you write down the description of your goal, what the goal is, when it's what the monthly amount is, so again saving monthly for it, and the due date. And then here you can track whether you've added or taken away, and you basically get to see how you're making progress. And then you get a visual representation of that where you can colour in these blocks. I think there's 12 blocks to a stack, and there's 4 on each page, so there's 8, which then matches up to this because you've got 8 here. So 1 for each, and then you can just look at how all the pretty colours and all the colouring in and all the progress that you've made, which is going to be pretty beautiful. Your yearly spending overview, and I really think this is going to come in handy for me because I've been thinking about the categories I want to use, and I'm definitely going to have a category for snacks. I'm pretty awful at wasting my budget on snacks. So I think I'm going to allocate some money and just try and reduce it every month until hopefully when we get to here next year, it will be not nothing, I guess. The odd chocolate bar would be okay, but just a lot less than what I'm spending right now. You then have 2 sort of graphs and your yearly balance overview. So up here you can track your savings balance, your debt balance, retirement, which I think is more relevant to the US or maybe other countries where you save for your own pension, but or maybe not. I don't know a lot about retirement stuff in the US, but in the UK it's mostly that your pension is in your paycheck. So I know nothing about my pension, really, just that I put money towards it every month, and so does my employer. So if anything, it should probably get me more into knowing about it. One of my colleagues was talking about it yesterday, so I'll probably ask him, how do I figure this out? And then you can track here. So I think here I'm gonna eventually, because I've got a LISA, which I'm first of all using to buy a house, and then I'll use to save for retirement as well. Maybe once the house is all done, I will use one of these for that, and then maybe use the other one for just general savings, maybe like my ISA or something. I don't know, but there's two of them, so that's really helpful. And you could also possibly track multiple things on them if you have different colours, which I did on the digital one anyway. So it doesn't just have to be two. So next we have the bill tracker. So the idea here is that you put the due date, you put the description, the amount due, the payment method, so is it card or cash, and then is it auto, so does it automatically come out of your account, and then you can tick them off or fill them in as you go. And for me, I think this is going to be especially helpful for the bills that don't really make sense, in terms of they don't have a set day they come out of, they just come out. So there's a couple. So our our internet bill comes out later in the month, and we keep forgetting to put money to one side of it for it. And then also I have a subscription to a channel on Amazon that my dad uses and pays me back for. And I am not like, it just looks like there's it's just any day after the 20th by the look of it. It's a bit weird. So that'll be good for keeping track of that. Medical bills, I guess in the UK, if you go private, then that would help. But we have the NHS, so we don't really tend to have them. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe prescriptions, because we do still have to pay a bit for prescriptions. Maybe, I don't know. I probably won't use it. I'll probably stick over here one of the trackers for like paying something off. Maybe my laptop, I'm paying it off my laptop finance wise. So yeah, maybe I'll stick that there. Then you have 2 notes pages. And then you get started on every month. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole planner because every month is the same, and there's nothing after December apart from like a sleeve to keep stickers in, or just notes and stuff. So I'll just go through January. So you get a quote on the first page of every month, and they're all different colours, and I really like that. And then you start with your calendar. So for the calendar, it's all blank, and the change for this year is that she doesn't have days up here, apart from in December when they accidentally missed the days up there, but I've made stickers that basically fill this whole section and have the days, so that doesn't really bother me. I've also made number stickers to fill in the numbers. I think I made stickers for throughout, but these are the only like more functional ones. The rest are more decorative. So this is where it comes in handy for me. I only get paid once a month. So it's things like if I'm traveling home and I'll need a train ticket, if I've already planned dinner with friends, if I have a birthday coming up for someone, that's what I'll use it for. Because everything will be coming out of the paycheck that I get paid at the end of the last month. Whereas if you get paid multiple paychecks, you can then have a highlighter colour for that paycheck and then show which bills or which items will come out of different paychecks, and it just helps you visualise it. The Budget Mum does a really good fit. So she does real life budget videos where she shows how to do this, and I found the real life budget videos to be really helpful in putting this together. I'm going to have a sticker covering this, and it's going to be a wish list for things. Not necessarily to buy that month, but I'll just write them down how much they are and then tick them off if I buy them, or move them over to next month if I don't. So the next one is you get 5 of this spread, because if you get paid weekly, then that makes sense. So you have your income. I'm just going to move this and then try and, is that, just zoom in a little bit. So you have your income here. So that's your wages, anything from the last paycheck. I don't really ever have a lot left over from the last paycheck, because my budgeting is so tight at the moment. We're saving for a house, so I don't have anything that I usually carry over, but I'm guessing that once we've bought the house, eventually, when it happens, I will then be able to carry stuff over, and then I'll have more than just my wages. Bills, so this is where you can go back into your bill tracker and then fill this in. And then you go to your envelopes. So it's kind of like you do this, then this, then this, because you take your total and then you subtract this and have what's left over. You write that here, and then you subtract what's in your envelopes, what's left over, and you sort of work your way through the page. Whereas for me, my savings are the biggest priority. So I would go income, bills, savings, and then whatever's left over after savings, I'd split between these two. So the Budget Mum uses the envelope method. I'm kind of using that, but not cash, because I am with Monzo, who have excellent, this isn't sponsored by Monzo, I'm a big advocate for Monzo and budgeting. So Monzo have pots, and now on Monzo Plus, they actually have virtual cards that you can allocate to those pots, which means when you use them on Google or Apple Pay or online, the money comes straight out of that pot and does not do anything to your bank account. And I'm not sure, so maybe that's not the best thing to do when you're going to have a mortgage advisor look at your bank statements. Or maybe it is. Maybe I just give them this book and just go, here you go. This is why you should trust me with money. Because they'll look at my normal bank statement and just see the odd payment, but nothing really. So maybe I shouldn't do that for now. I don't know. Who knows? You do also get a bank statement for your pots, so maybe I'll just give that to them. But yeah, I could also just give them this. Anyway, I digress. So envelopes are going to be in my pots, and then sinking funds is going to holiday, Christmas, my boyfriend's birthday. And this, if I have to, I don't really have huge debt like some of the people who use this system do. I only have maybe £100 on my credit card at a time anymore. And also in the UK, our student loans come straight out of our paycheck, so we don't have to then factor that into our budgets, which I'm very, very grateful for. So next we have the cash envelope breakdown, which obviously I won't be using because you can write down the denomination. So say you do work in cash and you have £100 for a category, you can then write that you want X number of £5 notes, X number of 20, X number of 10, and then add that all up and work that out. I will be using Money Thoughts and Priority Goal because I think reflection is really good for this. A lot of my anxiety is money anxiety, not necessarily rational money anxiety, because I usually, when I get that feeling in my stomach, all I have to do is come to my digital Budget By Paycheck Workbook, go through next month's budget, and I feel fine again. So yeah, I think reflection is good. In fact, yeah, there should be more space there is more space for reflection. You have 5 of these. So the thing I'm going to use these for, so I'm going to use one for my personal, one for my joint, and then there's a couple left over just to practice. And they're not different to the digital version, so I guess I could practice on the digital version too. And so for stickers for these, I've kind of got a sticker to go here that has the themed pattern, which is blue flowers for January in the outside and then a white space in the inside. So they're not that necessary for the other pages, but I just thought I'd do them anyway. And then you get down to your trackers. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for these, I'm going to be using them per pot. So I'll have a fun pot, which then tracks that, and then I have a transport pot, which is money I put to one side and I use for the tube and I use for train tickets. I have another one I did have one specifically for planning and planning supplies and one for sewing, but I think I'm just going to factor that into my fun pot and then budget and use it as categories and then budget against those categories. So for these pages, we have the date, we have the transaction category if you've withdrawn or deposited, and then the balance. And the thing that's been taken out of this is account, and that makes so much sense because the account is up there. Like, you just end up I just used to end up repeating myself, so I'm glad there's more space now to write the description of the transaction and the category. So yeah, that is those, and I'll probably use one for pots, one for joint, and all that kind of stuff. Now you get to the closing out of your budget, and this is relevant in the Budget Mum videos where she closes out her budget. And so you've got your debt payment plan, which has the creditor, the balance, the interest rate, minimum payment, and the order. And I think that's the order in which you're going to pay them off. And then you've got extra payments, monthly debt progress. Monthly net worth tracker is also so important, especially when you're doing this as well, because then it also shows your assets growing and your liabilities shrinking. So yeah, that is also something that will make you happy. It's not something I've really been doing a lot. So I've been using the Budget Mum digital up until this, literally I track everything and then I just stopped. Probably because when you get to this part, where did my money go? It was either on fabric, planning supplies, or food, i.e. snacks. Not even groceries, snacks. So I kind of just didn't want to see how much. Which is kind of why I got this, because the logic goes, if you get it physical, you've paid for it, you've shipped it all the way from America, you're going to use it, right? Say that to my weekly passion planners sitting in the corner that I have started and not finished. More of that in a different video though. So here you have your categories, the budget for that category, how much you've spent, the difference. So when she does her closing budget, she usually highlights this green or red if she's gone over or under. The total. So when she says inflow, I think this is just all the income of the month. Total monthly inflow is total monthly spent divided by inflow. I'll have to figure that out later. So yeah, then you can see if you're over or under and what you need to do better next month. And where did my money go on this side is your debt and savings as well. So the breakdown for that. Then you have your comparison. So you compare it to what you'd spent the month before, what the change is, and then also I guess red or green if you've gone up or down, or maybe amber if you've stayed the same. And then another addition to this one is the monthly meal plan. And I've seen so many people get so creative with this that I'm really tempted to get some stickers for it as well. I think the Budget by Paycheck Instagram account shared something the other day that I was like, oh yeah, that's a lot more creative than what I was gonna do. So I'll definitely need some more date stickers. Or I could just write it in, you don't. I was about to say you don't need stickers. You definitely need stickers, she says as she goes through a budget workbook. So then you have another notes page, which I guess you could stick another tracker on. And if you are working in cash, I'll just flip this around so you can see. There we go. If you are working in cash, then these are really handy to cut out, write down how much you want of each denomination and the value, and just give it to the bank teller, because if you ask for £100 and they give you it all in 20s, then it might not be helpful for you. So that is the flip through, because everything else is the same, just a different month. And I hope you've enjoyed it. One of the questions I got asked was, do you need this? And I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no, because there are so many different budget methods. There are so many different budget books out there that not everything is for everyone. And the reason I've gone with this is because before I come across the Budget Mom on Instagram, her methods were what I was trying to do. Before COVID hit, I was trying to do cash. I had my envelope. I literally had envelopes of cash. I just didn't know it was a method. For our groceries, I tried, I have this really cool app that I cut. It's like My Supermarket or something, where you put in your shopping list, and then you put in, you choose your local supermarket, and then it will tell you how much it costs, or if you should swap for something cheaper, or if there's a deal on, and then it'll also tell you if your shop is cheaper elsewhere. We haven't used it in ages because we tend to go with Tesco now because we get the club card discount, which is really good. But yeah, I used to have a spreadsheet and everything, and so when I come across this, just a light bulb switched on, and I was like, this is what I need. And so if you're watching this video, if you go and do your research on her and watch more stuff, and you go, yes, this is what I want, then I would suggest going for it. I would suggest getting the digital first because it's a bit cheaper, and you can print the months off as you go. Some people do that rather than print them all off because it can be expensive, and some people just do it digitally. And then once you've done that and you figure out that that's what you want, then go all in and get this, is my advice. But obviously if you're watching this and you go, no, I like my method better, or I like someone else's book better, don't force yourself. Don't try and fit a round peg into a square hole. So that is my flip through. Thank you so much for watching. And if you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe and see more and see me set this thing up, then hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you later.